Hey, OGA Vets, Casey Edwards, golf performance coach. I thought you'd all want to see the reason I'm not going to make it this year. This is little Lincoln. He is 6 months old, or about to be 6 months old, and I'm sorry to miss the trip, but this guy's probably a big reason I won't be there this year. One last interruption before we get started. This is meant to be an active thing. I want you to get up. I want you to see what you like, try everything out. I just finished filming. I'm sweaty. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and feel free to hit me up with anything you need. Again, thank you so much for my experience last year. It was really special. For those of you I haven't met who are there this year, my name's Casey Edwards. I'm a golf performance coach. Just a little background about me. I spent 6 years working in orthopedic manual physical therapy, working really in a spine specialty, and I started a side business, or a kind of a side hustle that turned into a full-time job. In May, I started working at Congressional Country Club, which I never thought in a million years I would ever say. But it's been a really special transition for me, something I'm very passionate about. And I hope to share some knowledge with you and hopefully give you some things that will either help you feel better when you play golf or potentially help you play golf a little better. So some of the things I want to cover are just swing mechanics, golf mechanics really, kind of general stuff. What you can do training-wise outside of the golf course, outside of practice that will help your golf game. Things like warming up, and finally some stuff that will maybe help you with injury prevention. I will try to link those videos all over here, and I'll try to indicate when you should try to click on one of those if that's something that's interesting for you. So first off, golf. Golf is a rotational sport, and if you're anything like the average person, your daily job has nothing to do with rotation. There's nothing violent and aggressive that you do rotationally. You probably don't do a lot of punching. Maybe some of you do. But I know most people, they get in their car every morning, they drive to work, they sit their butt in the desk, and that's kind of my average clientele. And they get out of that desk, get in their car, go to the golf course, and think that their body is primed and ready to go to play golf, to do something that they don't do anything similar to in day-to-day life. So one of the things I'm very passionate about, strange to say, is warming up, getting your body properly ready for a golf swing. And just to make it very clear, taking 2 golf clubs, swinging that's not warming up. Hitting a couple of chips, that's not warming up either. We're not counting anything golf as a warm-up for golf. So if you're anybody who has low back pain, shoulder pain, hip stiffness, any of that, I cannot recommend any more that you spend at least 5 or 10 minutes before you take the golf club out of the bag, before you start hitting balls, doing something a little bit dynamic, or at least some mobility drills that will help you feel a little better, move easier, create some good patterns so that when you take that club out, you feel ready to go rather than feeling stiff and achy like you haven't done anything all day. So we're going to cover a warm-up. I'm going to link the warm-up either there or there. I forget how YouTube works. It's going to be one of these 2 places. It'll be a warm-up. The other thing I want to talk about is just general training for golf. So hopefully you guys hit the gym. You do something in the fitness realm. And I see a lot of weird stuff in the gym. When I go to the gym at Congressional, I see a lot of this. And I see this at any gym, anytime I work with golfers. A lot of people doing some crazy, twisty things with weight. Not necessarily what you have to do to improve your golf game. General fitness and functional training, whatever buzzword you want to use, can be really beneficial. I have a couple of boxes I require any of my golfers when they work out to check. One of them is just doing some lunging. So whether it be reverse lunges, pretty much always part of a routine, lateral lunges, deadlifting is great. I like even more single leg deadlifting, getting a weight, doing a single leg hip hinge, rows, presses. If you haven't noticed, everything I've kind of mentioned is single leg or single limb. A lot of times that's going to get rid of any compensations, asymmetries, the things that really kill our golf game. What I mean by that is we could get something like a kettlebell or a dumbbell. You can stay here and you can do your sets of squats. But as you're doing a 2-legged drill, you don't really know if your left is compensating for your right. If you're putting more weight into one side, it's really hard to tell that stuff. Versus if you were to get that kettlebell and do some lunges, all of a sudden my weakness or instability on the left side can no longer hide. So those are the kind of drills I really encourage, are single leg stuff. You can do a lot of deadlifting, but maybe your form is much worse on one side versus the other. Again, there's no place to hide when we're in a single limb variant. The same being said for your rows and your presses. So if this were a cable column or any type of strength training machine, instead of doing 2 arms, if you can, do 1. Now my right hand can't help my left. It can't hide. I would say single arm pressing variations. If you want to get really functional, you can get into a split stance, like an athletic stance. Sorry, you can't see it. Most of my weight's on my lead foot. If I'm punching with my right hand, that means my left foot's forward, and I can do some simple punches like that. Just watching this, you can see my shoulders are turning, going through a rotational pattern. You can do that with or without rotation. I think there's value in both. If I have a weight or resistance in one hand, and I push it one-handed and ask myself not to rotate, I'm actually training rotation, as weird as that sounds, because if I push off with my right hand and don't stabilize here, I'm going to turn into it. So creating stability and not rotating is actually as valuable as rotating. So I would encourage you to do a little bit of both. If you're doing lunges and you normally do lunges straight, next time see how it feels to add a little twist to it. Again, straight line stuff in the gym, if you don't do it, is great. Like, don't shy away from it. Don't feel like everything has to have a rotational component to it. That's probably my biggest sort of issue with people when they train for golf, is they think all of it has to be rotational. Truthfully, it doesn't. Like, doing some strength training in a forward plane or in a lateral plane is really valuable if you don't do any anyway. Don't complicate things. Don't create injury mechanisms if you're unsupervised by adding these crazy rotational drills. Instead, just do it single arm or single limb. Again, single leg lunges, lateral lunges, things like that can actually help your rotational ability by learning to be stable on one side. So that's out of the way as far as training goes. I mentioned warming up. Again, I'm going to link it again. Worth doing, worth looking at, whether it's there or there, I can't remember. And then finally, pain. Pain is something I get asked about all the time. Back pain is common enough in the general population. From meeting you guys last year, I feel like everybody at some point was like, my back hurts, especially all you crazy guys who jump out of planes and the crazier ones who jump out of planes with stuff that weighs 3 times as much as they do. I'm amazed if you don't have back pain at some point, just day-to-day life, let alone playing a sport like golf where there's so much explosive movement. And to get into that one more time, by definition, golf is one of the most explosive sports on the planet. There are not a lot of sports where you go from standing still, not moving, to trying to accelerate your body to 115 miles an hour, at least the object at the end of your arm. So the idea that we can just get out of the car or get out of the golf cart and be maximally athletic is unreasonable. So I'll say it again. There's a video for a warm-up here. If there's a drill you like or that feels good, or you notice you hit balls better after you do it, there's no reason you cannot be the weird guy who gets out of the cart on the 9th tee and does a little bit of a dynamic drill to figure out how to load their hip better, to figure out how to rotate their pelvis faster. Those things I find successful golfers aren't afraid to do. When they find a movement drill that helps them, they do it. Whether it's because they've been standing 10 minutes because the group ahead of them is really slow, or every time they get out of the cart, they do it. Those kind of movement drills facilitate learning a pattern rather than having to stand over a ball and say, load my hip. We're trying to take thoughts out of the golf swing as much as possible because I want your body to inherently know how to move. So again, warm-up videos, really good things. And low back pain, I'm going to link a low back video on here as well, just some general stuff. Don't think of this as medical, disclaimer, whatever. This is not medical advice. It's very generic things that I've found are helpful for people in the past. So if you like that, or not if you like that, if you have back pain, and you want to try it out, really people who have hip stiffness as well, I'd lump that in there too. Those are some exercises that I think are really helpful for you. Otherwise, sorry, as a parting message here, again, I had such a great time with you last year. So many people I'd love to make shout outs to, but I don't want to go through a long list and leave anybody out. But everybody who coordinates OGA, phenomenal event. So sad I can't be there. I will be there the next time, especially if it's not anywhere near October 5th. As I said, having a new baby and my partner's birthday, it's just, I can't make it in the middle or at the beginning of October. So as a plug, anybody who does the scheduling, don't make it near October 5th. And I promise I'll be there. Summer, spring, tell me when, I will show up. It's my favorite event of the year. I really look forward to it. Again, all the sponsors, all the vets that show up, it's just a really special community, and I'm jealous of all you who are there this year. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm going to link my email, my cell phone, everything in the bottom. If any of you guys have any questions, if you see a video, you don't understand what it is, you want to talk about something personal with your issues, as far as if you're seeing a practitioner, if you want recommendations for a practitioner, if you want to meet a golf performance coach or somebody who works in fitness or rehab who has a golf specialty, feel free to text me or email me. Tell me where you live. I'll try and find somebody near you, or I'll try to help you out as much as I can on my own. You guys have served this country, again, so bravely. You've given up so much, and it's just a small bit of my time to try to help you out. So if there's anything I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, I hope you have a great trip. Hope you all have fun. Don't do anything crazy. I saw my first sternal rub during my last trip. I hope to never watch one of those again. And again, thank you guys so much, and have a great day.